So it's time for some cool news regarding Xbox Series consoles technologies. Let's look into this. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So let's talk about some tech news. So Xbox Series S and X comes with a lot of next-gen technologies like RDNA technologies, features, direct storage API, SSD and SFS and mesh shaders and that kind of stuff. Unfortunately, for the last 2.5 years, not many games take advantage of these technologies. Well, they do actually take advantage of some technologies like VRS, but even recently, developers don't really use that much, right? And obviously, one of the reasons is that there were a lot of games cross-gen, so implementing such a feature would only benefit next-gen consoles, current-gen consoles, and not last-gen consoles. And not many developers wanted to do that because that's just extra work. And, if that were to benefit both, that makes more sense, right? That's why a lot of games didn't really use it. Now, I'm sure that now it's actually changing, and even we actually see more and more developers talking about implementing these next-gen features. And that's what I really want to talk about today. I want to talk about developers finally saying that, oh, we need to implement this and that in order to make a game better and whatever, right? That's great. And also we are actually seeing more and more games, using Unreal Engine 5, for example. So Rentmund 2 is an Unreal Engine 5 game. Tekken 8, I think it's Unreal Engine 5. There's this Immortal, I think, game coming out very soon. I think it got delayed a little bit. It was planned for August, but I think now it's coming a bit later. So that's another Unreal Engine 5 game. So there's going to be more and more games that uses next-gen game engines. And, these game engines will have these, at least some of these features implemented. And even Unreal Engine 5 has been updated recently to version 5.3, which, improves performance and that kind of stuff. So because early Unreal Engine 5 games were not too impressive, but, remember, guys, that these are indie titles. I think the first big Unreal Engine game will be probably Immortal, and that's still not like a full AAA title, I would say. But Lords of the Fallen is coming in October, sorry. So that's a full Unreal Engine 5 game. So so we will see a lot of these features implemented. Unreal Engine did confirm that they will implement direct storage. That makes sense. But even without waiting for Epic to implement these features, developers actually implementing these features. Look at Quantum Error developer, right? It's an indie developer. So basically they were kind of forced, they are being forced to implement these features because Xbox Series, in order to take advantage of Xbox Series consoles, they actually have to do it. Otherwise, they're not really going to be able to tap into the, full Xbox Series consoles potential, right? There's things on PlayStation that are automatic, like texture decompression on GPU, and there's fast SSD and that kind of stuff. There's a couple of other things there too. While on Xbox, you have to implement certain things like direct storage. You need to implement direct storage in order to take advantage of things like SFS, texture decompression, etc., right? So, and now we're actually seeing that, we really need to actually start implementing these features. And that's good, finally, because developers up until this point, they had this excuse, I guess, that, it's a last gen game. If it runs on Xbox One X, it will run great on Xbox Series S and X. And that was really the case. And they didn't even bother implementing these features because why would they? If it works on Xbox Xbox One, it will work on Xbox Series X too, right? But now in order to really, make these games better, and next gen, they have to, they must use that, especially on Xbox Series S, because without that, that console is not really going to last long. Developers really need to start using, like, especially direct storage and SFS, right? I mean, developers have been complaining about lack of memory, but SFS actually resolves that issue big time, right? I mean, it's not getting rid of issues like completely, but it just basically SFS makes games to use less memory, right? So if a game uses less memory, so memory is not as much of an issue anymore, if you know what I mean, right? So, but developers have to first implement direct storage, and that's what they are actually doing. Diablo developers, Blizzard, recently came out that they will support direct storage too. And there's already some DLL files in the PC build for that technology. So, like, I don't think it's fully implemented, but looks like that's coming very soon. Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, Nixxes did implement direct storage, and they actually implemented the latest version, which not only supports support SSDs, but also the latest version supports mechanical drive. So I think direct storage was one of the reasons why that game actually works pretty well on hard drives too. And they also confirmed that Ratchet & Clank is using texture decompression on GPU on PC, right? I mean, this game is not on Xbox, so we can't really say that, it's on the Xbox. But my point is that, more and more developers will be utilizing these next-gen features, because without it, PC is not really going to do that great. Even on PC, if you look at the memory constraints, like we're talking about, people complain about Xbox Series S and lack of memory, but even on PC, we see issues with 8 gigabytes cards. Like even RTX 3070, it's a very powerful card, very capable. I've got one, but I need to be wary of memory usage, right? I can't really go with, in some games, I can't really go with ultra texture settings because, I only have 8 gigabytes of RAM on this card, right? VRAM. So, it's coming, guys. Finally, it's coming. So this year, now, after summer, we will actually see more and more games coming. There's going to be a lot of finally current gen games only for this generation consoles and more powerful PCs. And I think this is where finally the next generation starts now, like after summer, when we will actually start seeing these games. There's Lords of the Fallen coming. Remedy's Alan Wake 2, that's a next gen game too. And Starfield is coming in September, and we're going to have Forza. Crew 3 looks fantastic, but is it a next gen game? I think it is. Maybe that's why it looks so good, but I'm not really sure if that's really a next gen game, but I would imagine so. It makes sense just to move to next gen, because like if you look even at console sales, PlayStation just reached 40 million. That has been officially confirmed. So right as of now, Xbox sits at like 22 million, I think. Holidays are coming, so they will sell additional millions until end of this year. So I would not be surprised if Sony sold additional 10 million. Xbox maybe reach 6-7 additional millions. Who knows? So if that's the case, then developers will be looking at a market for a next gen consoles, a market of like around 70-80 million users, right? Consoles on the market too. So makes sense, and obviously these numbers will be growing, so it makes no sense to develop games like indie titles, not really demanding games. That's fine, they can run on last gen consoles too, but when it comes to these huge games, but at the same time, I guess Ratchet & Clank kind of shows that you can still, if you put effort in and spend more time optimizing, you can even run a next-gen PlayStation 5 game on a, you know, potato PC with a mechanical drive, as long as you use direct storage, guys. So that's the secret. Direct storage is a huge thing, really, and that's why I've been saying, yes, I know that when these next-gen console specs were first released, we were all focusing mainly on the teraflops and the power, but really, in order to avoid bottlenecks, use of direct storage is crucial. It's crucial, and not only on Xbox, also on PC, and that's very important. That's why PlayStation is actually doing that great, because the PlayStation direct storage, let's call it, right? I mean, their technology is automatic. They don't have to implement it, right? Developers don't have to implement it. It's built into the actual hardware system, if you know what I mean, right? So, which was very clever on Sony's side, to be honest with you. While with Xbox, it has to be basically coded and implemented by developers. That's why it's taking so long. But anyway, guys, that's the news. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about it. And I will see you all in the next one. Take care.